What's good, everyone? So, it's Nigel here, Black Sex Apparel. So, saw something very interesting today, or I heard something very interesting today while I was driving to the gym, listening to the news. Why I was listening to the news, I don't know. I don't generally do that. Normally, I have the music blaring on the way to the gym, getting me motivated for whatever session it's about to go down. But this time, I decided to listen to the news. LBC in particular. It's uh, leading Britain's conversation, for those of you that don't know, LBC. So I was driving to the gym and they were talking about obesity. And the topic was obviously obesity. But the topic essentially was that obesity now, I don't know, I haven't done my research, I haven't done the research myself. This is what I heard on LBC. So I'd implore you to do your own research and find out if this is true or not. But apparently, obesity kills more people than poverty does across the world. And we here in the UK, out of 150 countries, I believe, 155 countries or something similar, we are ranked number 54, which is, I suppose, not dreadful, but not great. So we are number 54 in the world on the ranked countries of obese people. I'd love to know where America is. I believe Samoa was number one for obesity. So any Samoans tuning in, have a word with your people. You're the number one ranked country for obesity. Now, I find this quite shocking, to be honest. I'm not surprised at the ranking the UK has, because there are lots of overweight people here in the UK. And if, to be honest, if you go by the NHS National Health Service data for obesity, I am clinically obese. So obviously you have to take a lot of it with a pinch of salt, and all depends on your makeup and your build and the amount of muscle you carry, etc., etc. We all know that, right? Like I said, 6 foot tall, and I'm roughly about 96, 97 kilos, I would say about 97 kilos on waking up in the morning. 97, let's say let's say 98 kilos, make it fair, about 97 to 98 kilos. So that puts me in, I believe it puts me in the clinically obese category in the UK at 6 foot tall and 98 kilos, 97 kilos, give or take. So it's important that the accuracy of the NHS charts. I'm not sure where those numbers come from, how they've come to that those numbers in terms of classing you as obese, in regards to your height and weight, obviously your weight, etc. I'm not sure what the science is backing how the NHS has come to the conclusion that someone who's 6 foot tall and 98 kilos is clinically obese. I suppose they have to have a standard, but everyone as an individual, you have to look at each person as an individual, right? And not just go off that chart. I suppose it's no different to saying that you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. And many of you have heard that, right? You must drink 8 glasses of water a day. Now, that's all well and good, and it's a good starting point. But that obviously depends on the climate, how hot it is outside, how much you sweat that day, how many gym sessions you've had, how hard you train, etc., etc. So I'm not knocking 8 glasses of water a day. What I'm saying is it's dependent on your activities that day, the climate, etc., etc. But it's a good starting point. I say the same with the NHS chart for obesity. It gives you an idea, but it's not specific to the individual. I wouldn't say that I am clinically obese. So it's I find that very interesting. I thought I'd share it with you. I'd love to know where America ranks in this. I imagine it'd be in the top 10. And I believe it's anywhere that it's going to be countries where you know, food comes quite easily and quite readily. I don't know how easy it comes in like Samoa. I've never been there, but food is available quite, in abundance. Hence why America has that culture, and it also goes back to education as well. Poverty can also lead to obesity, because as much as you say, well, people who are poor don't have food, well, you then end up eating anything you're given. If you're hungry, you're going to eat anything. You're going to, eat bread, sugar, anything you're given to keep you full. You will consume, and with that comes a miseducation as well, because you're not looking at the food you're eating, and you can't afford to look at the food you're eating. Thinking, well, that's got X amount of sugar in it, or fat in it, or cholesterol in it, or whatever, or not enough fiber, not enough protein. You can't look at it like that. You're just looking to get something in your stomach to keep you going, for until you get your next meal. So, that's where the poverty issue aligns itself to obesity. And like I said, along with poverty, people who are poor, often, sadly, quite miseducated when it comes to most things, and especially when it comes to diet and the food we consume. And like I said, if you're poor, then you're just looking to just the next meal. You don't care what it is. You just want to keep yourself full and not starve, essentially, which is quite sad. So, so there you go. It's education, miseducation, or not being educated enough on diets and food and eating and meals and the food that we should be eating, etc., etc. That leads to obesity. Obviously, greed, gluttony, laziness. A family history of eating junk, I suppose, as well, and not really caring about what you consume, and that's passed on to the next generation and the next generation, etc., etc. And if we could address that, if we could address the food we eat from a very young age, nutrition-wise, if you're told that sugar is one of the most addictive things in the world. It's more addictive than crack cocaine. Sugar. If you were to say that to someone, say, "You're joking." No, it generally is more addictive. And there's nothing really good in processed sugar for you, right? And that's largely what we consume, which leads to diabetes and all sorts of different illnesses that people suffer from. So, education is key when it comes to fighting obesity. And it has to be an honest, an honest assessment from a government standpoint, right? Where the reality is, you could walk into a shop, a chicken shop, and buy a box of chicken and chips for under £5. But try buying some salad and some chicken breast and something healthy, and you're talking probably almost double the price sometimes, right? So it's cheaper to fill your stomach with junk than it is to eat healthy, and that's the problem. So it needs to be addressed. When I say it's addressed from the government, from our government down, that needs to be addressed. That's the first thing that needs to be addressed. The government interested in doing that? Not really. I don't see any proof that they are interested. You have to look at some of the health secretaries that we have, and the size of some of them, and you think, well, they're not really interested in so it's incumbent on us to teach our kids, and I suppose, and educate them that you are what you eat. Your health is your wealth. If you don't have your health, what do you have? So don't sweat on the food that you put in you. I go to the shops, and sometimes I hear people say, "Well, it's so expensive," but that stuff that you're claiming to be so expensive is what goes into your stomach and what gives you longevity on this planet. So I'd rather put something that's slightly more whole food than something that's less into my body, because my body is your body is literally your temple. What you put into your temple matters. So don't scringe on what you eat and the food that you put in your stomach. So that's just silly. So yeah. Anyway, I've gone on for a bit longer than I thought I would. But yeah, you are what you eat. Nutrition is key. The food you eat is the energy that you have. If you're suffering from low energy, then it's 100% because of the food you are consuming. So you change the food you consume and you watch your energy change as well. So that's something for you to also address. If you're suffering from low energy, it's the food that you're eating. Low energy affects you in all sorts of different ways. You come home from work, you're tired, you can't get to the gym. That affects you personally. You come home from work, you're tired, you can't play with your kids. That affects your kids' life. You come home from work, you're too tired, the wife wants to go out, or the husband wants to go out, you haven't got the energy to go out. And that affects your personal relationship with your partner. And that's not good. So if you address these things now, you address the food that you eat, something as simple as changing the food that you eat, stepping away from processed food and the addictiveness of processed food, you see a massive difference in your energy outputs and your life in general, using the examples I just gave. So there you go. I hope you guys learned something today. I certainly did this morning. And I hope you guys subscribe and like my video. That really helps me out and allows me to continue to make more videos and entertain you guys with anything that you need or want, nutrition-wise or fitness-wise or health-wise, etc. And let me know what the next topic should be in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. For now, take care. Peace.